Hey Drew, just looking at your document you just sent. This looks good. I'm missing the links, which is fine. I can still view it. You definitely want to open up the window info panel and click on your images and get those selected. And check and see. You can also look in the links panel. It'll tell you what the resolution of your images is. This looks good. The most important number is the effective PPI, and it should be at least 300. Which, this is in RGB. The inside cover image is in RGB color mode. This one's in CMYK, which is great. This one's in RGB. So we can do a control click, edit with Photoshop. You can't see it here because the link is missing. But if you edit it with Photoshop, it will open up in Photoshop. This is the inside cover image that I'm talking about now. So you can open that and then make it, I'll just open up this. Pretend this is the inside cover image of your painting. You just need to go to Image, Mode, CMYK Color. And then just do a Command S or File Save. You can save over the old PSD file or JPEG. Looks like a PNG file. You might save it out actually as a JPEG and then relink it. So click on it and then relink it to the JPEG, because PNG files are usually in RGB and JPEGs are good with CMYK. So you might end up saving that inside cover image as a JPEG.jpg file in CMYK color mode in your project folder that you have on your documents. So the album back cover looks like it's 266 DPI, which is okay. I mean, you're definitely dancing a fine line there, but I find somewhere above 250 usually prints okay, especially for like background images. Okay, so the back cover, I think that this needs a space in between USA and artwork. You could also do, like, to separate these two lines out, since they're two different thoughts, you could delete the period, or you could leave it in there, or you could delete it and you could do Option on your keyboard and 8 to create like a dot there. I'm not sure if I like that. It's just an option. I wonder if you could do, that looks pretty good, all rights reserved and otherwise. I wonder if you could do even less lines. Make this a little wider so you have it on 3 lines. And I did notice you moved it up a little bit out of the dark area, but make sure that this space and this space are totally even. Okay, so that's on 3 lines now, and I think oops, I need to do that. I don't know if a period there is good, maybe a comma. Or you could put a separator in there, like a space, shift, and then do the key under the delete key, another space, and you can kind of separate them out that way. And you could use ampersands just to shorten up the lines. Those are just small things. Your rope looks good. Looks like you were able to figure out this isn't all the way to the edge, but maybe that's just the way your file is. It is to the edge of the crop area, but it doesn't go all the way to the bleed. But I think it should be okay. It should print okay. With this, I know I told you to make this, to make it heavy, but maybe actually put it back on regular and then make this heavy, since this is part of the title, and maybe make it a little bit bigger so that you can differentiate it from the track listings. And then let's put this all on one line. And you know, you might want like 2 spaces in between the title, and move it down a little bit away from the rope because it's kind of close to the rope, and try and visually center that inside of those horns, and then maybe move this down so that this space and this space are pretty even. Okay, maybe something like that. And you fix that C, which is good. I don't know if you did the kerning on this one like it was on the front cover, but the Option on the keyboard, and do the left arrow key to tighten that up. This looks pretty good, but it's not quite center. I would maybe... I'm just noticing this space over here is quite a lot larger than this space, so maybe just, you know, bump it over just a little bit so that these spaces are more even. Yep, and then just make sure that that's in CMYK. The effective PPI is looking good. And this looks good. Okay. And I think your bleeds are going all the way. Okay. This also looks nice. I think this text is going to be a lot more legible for people. There's not going to be any question as to whether or not people can read it. Yeah. Okay. This might actually be a little bit too big and maybe too far away. But centering it inside of there. Yeah, I think this is it. I think that's all the suggestions that I have for you. Yeah, it looks good. Maybe just getting this on 3 lines. Changing this back to, you know, no longer, and get this on 1 line and bump it down. The cow skull is still kind of interfering with the track list, but not terrible. And yeah, I think everything else is looking good. I think if you do a file, you save that and then do a file export, you know, get your PDF, Adobe PDF print, all pages, marks and bleeds. Just make sure you check that use document bleed settings box and push export. I'm going to be replacing something, and also I was missing files. Also, if you want to send the InDesign file to anybody, the best thing to do is to do a file package and just push package. It's asking me to save before continuing, so I'm going to go ahead and save, and I'm just going to put it in that project folder. Pretend this is your project folder. It automatically puts the word folder on it when you create a package, because it's packaging up the fonts, the graphics, the link graphics, or the links. You can include a PDF if you want. You don't need the IDML or these other 2 here, and then package that up. It says they're missing, so because I'm missing yours, but go ahead and push OK. And when you actually create that package, inside of there, it creates this new folder, and it has your fonts that are in your document. It has the links, which are going to be your background images, and it has a PDF that it automatically makes for you, and it saves out a new InDesign file, and it's packaged really nicely inside of this folder that is made with file package. So you might want to try doing that anyway, because it's kind of nice because it puts your links in a folder for you, and it sets your document folder up really nicely for you, and you can go ahead and put that in your documents somewhere. And if you need to share it with somebody, if you want to email it to them, you just you can just zip it, which is really snazzy. You can do a control click with a Mac and do compress, and then that zip folder that is created is a great thing to send to other designers. So maybe with your next album that you make, your next album cover that you make, you can send me a package folder as a zip file over email, so that, or you might have to send me a Google Drive link because it's sort of large for a lot of email servers, but it's nice to be able to have all the links and all the files and all the fonts just all in one place when you send your file to another designer. Anyway, this is looking good. Good job. Yeah, I think you have a finished project here, so keep going. I'm excited to see the next album cover that you come up with.